we go. Now it is live. Hello, people. How's it going on? We have a tired Dom here. Talk about tired titties.
Wait, hold up, Ren. Stop recording. I'm not in yet.
Oh, hold on. I got you. I got you. I got you both. Can you guys see the screen?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I can.
Do I have control?
Hold on, two-tone titties. We got it.
Two-tone titties. Okay.
Hey, look. I'm trying to keep myself monetized. Hold on.
Monetized.
Trying to keep ourselves monetized. Do we monetize the channel? I don't even know.
No, we don't. I'm just like double
And
checking to be
before
sure.
And before we have a fucking Patreon.
That'd be funny. But Dom, you can move now.
It's gonna fucking happen one of these days.
If it'll happen, it'll be hilarious. But you can move now, right?
Yeah, I should. Yes, I am able to. Okay. Hi. Are we recording?
Yep.
Okay, hi. How's it going? My name is Devil Dom. I'm really fucking tired. I want to sleep in. Anyway, this is our second trailer breakdown for Resident Evil 3 Remake, and I'm joined by our glorious host, Renegade Operative, and our co-host, Mr. Brandel.
I don't exist in this world. I'm a being above all.
I don't know why it took a second to like acknowledge that you existed, Brandon.
I would totally get between the sheets with the Regis liquor from Resident Evil Outbreak.
What?
I totally would. Dom's reaction.
Okay, the Tyrant R from Dead Aim is hot. Kaplan.
I don't even want to know what that is.
No, you don't want to know. You don't want to know. I'm gonna hit play. All right, you ready?
Yep.
3,
No.
2, 1, go.
All right, you can clearly see here. There's a lot of fire.
Yep, and I'm gonna pause right here. Well, actually, hold on, because I want to pause it right on a specific frame, because you can actually see that Nemesis has a mask on.
You also see his eye if you get a good frame with the lighting on his face.
Dom, let me take control. I'm going to make this a little bit more slower.
Yeah, slow it down for me.
Alright, hold on. Let's see. Oh shit. There we go. See, playback. Make that speed even slower. There you go.
Ah, okay. There we go. So, right off the bat, we have Nemesis, like, and very, even with the slowdown, very fast. But you can see that he's wearing a mask. And I think, Ren, you mentioned it was kind of in line with one of DC's more notable antagonists.
Yes.
Yeah, he looks like Doomsday when you first introduced him to the DC brand.
Yeah, he looks like Doomsday with the mask, and then over time when he's fighting Superman, the mask comes off, and then you see like the creature. So I was always wondering, like, is that inspiration? I think like I brought that up as a reference on the podcast before this one, the pre-release one, and I said it would be cool if Nemesis had a mask. Like, you have Mr. X who has the fedora, so they gave him something a little bit extra as well here.
Yeah. Also, I just noticed this, but right on the frame that we're on, it kind of looks like there's a radioactive symbol on the suit that he's wearing.
No one is.
Yeah, like right on his bicep. Like, it's just...
Yeah, because it lines up with all the caution tape around and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
I think you see another biohazard sign somewhere on his suit.
Yep. So I'm gonna go back and let's see, speed, normal speed, and I'm gonna hit play. And then there's Jill falling, and right about there, we see Jill like limping, and I don't know if she's heading towards that store or just in that alleyway, and I think this is just supposed to be like a recreation of that intro scene from the original.
Mm-hmm.
where she jumps out of the apartment complex and then just is ready to fight and is ready for action. I think they're gonna change this up to make it a little bit more of a slower paced and methodical setup. So, because obviously you're gonna be probably running away from Nemesis. But what do you guys think?
I think it goes in line with the entire thing about the intro, like when they said that now Nemesis like sort of raised Jill's apartment. So off the bat, I think it's going to be a lot more hectic as soon as like he shows up in the beginning of the game, as opposed to like showing up at the RPD. And I'm also wondering if that section is going to be changed now since Carlos goes there and that seems prominent, but we'll talk about that later in the trailer.
All right, my tinfoil hat theory is that Jill goes back to her apartment to get something, and that's when Nemesis' first appearance happens.
Yep.
Yep. So I'm gonna hit play, and right there we get our first look at Nemesis' full body, and he's using his tentacle to whip down Jill.
Yep.
And she just falls flat on her ass, like.
It's a
This is already a big noticeable change from the original. The Nemesis doesn't use his tentacles until after he grabs you, trying to stab you in the mouth, or when his suit gets damaged from the fight with Jill in the clock tower, and Carlos comes in and saves her ass.
Yeah, that's more of a Form 2 thing, if anything. And yeah, he does the death animation with the tentacle. It's a weird shot too, because it seems like he teleported just a little bit. I don't know if that's like a bug or what.
That has to be trailer editing, like they
probably
cut him closer, and probably shot it in a way to where it's like, oh yeah, he's like almost unstoppable and he can.
That, or it might be just him getting stuck in geometry, because sometimes the animation might be forces the model to get out of a certain way. That can happen in games.
Yeah.
I also did notice that this might be part of the trailer editing, but like when he whips out the tentacle, it makes like a whipping sound. So
is that
interesting that they added that in there?
Is that, and also
skanky.
they said that the coloration of the tentacles is purple, so it like harkens back to the original a lot.
So she gets thrown out of car. And
here's
our first look at Carlos.
Now, I want to say something here, though. This is the same area that Leon goes through in scenario A, I believe.
Yep.
Or Clara. Either or.
This is where the Bernie Taker is.
This is before they come in the city. So I'm assuming that when Carlos saves Jill, he causes the explosion that you see near their tanker.
Yeah.
At least that portion, that portion over there that's fucked up. Either that, or the tanker actually came in and saved Jill.
That'd be funny if it just came barreling through the street, dude. Also, there's something that I want to point out. If you pause and frame it at the right direction, you will see that Carlos has like an RPG in his hand. He drops it like it's a split second, but it's there.
It's a 4-shot rocket you see that Leon gets at the end of his campaign when you fight Mr. X.
Yeah.
I'm gonna click back just a few frames.
There, you see he drops it. So
yeah, it's like right at the corner there.
I assume he blows up Nemesis with it, because I mean, what else? He would see like a big ass hulking monster. Is like, well, the best way I can do something about this is blow it up. So yeah.
Yeah. So, I know this is the one thing that people were kind of like concerned about, was like if they would change the line from, oh, all the foxy ladies love my accent. So clearly they changed it to be a more, realistic scene where it's like, oh, hey, yeah, my name is Carlos and I'm here to, help you out.
I still hope for that line. I'm not gonna lie. And then I still hope for the scene where Jill like slaps the bejesus out of him. It's like those little things that just count. But I guess that would be probably a little bit later in the game when she like does that.
Nemesis is on fire.
That nose is still
F1
crooked.
logo.
Nose is still crooked.
Here we get our
Alright.
first look at some EBCS. So, and this is at the front of RPD, and notice that they came out of that gate on the side, so that's before it gets barred off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm 100% certain they use this as a pseudo base of operations before they dish it. Because and I believe, correct me if I'm wrong though, but in original lore, they use the police and other civilians come in and bar up the thing after Jill leaves, or the other way around. They disassemble some things before like locking it down.
Also, Doom, let me take control for a second. I just want to check something.
Yeah, sure thing.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure that I was not muted.
For sure. So I'm gonna go a little bit forward, and really cool thing, because I don't think we were ever in the subways for the original Resident Evil 3. So this is
No,
kind
I
of a
don't
bit of...
think there was a original subway until Outbreak.
Isn't there like
Yeah,
a
so-
subway montage at the beginning of RE2?
Yes, yes, there's a subway in that little montage shot. You see the city was going to hell. It's brief though, but yes, there's a subway in Remake too.
Yeah, that's what I was talking
Wow.
about. Like last analysis, I said that it would be cool if you can go down there in that subway for once, and it seems like they're utilizing that finally.
Yeah,
and
because the only time you go to the subways in Raccoon is in Outbreak, I believe.
Outbreak, yeah.
So it'd be actually a really cool callback too to Outbreak. So something to keep in mind.
The city is completely cut off, isolated.
Survivors.
Civilians here. They're probably all gonna get fucked by Nemesis.
Yeah, most likely.
Probably. They're all just bait here.
No, actually, no, they will.
But this is basically the shot from the previous trailer, and I was saying, like, remember there was somebody in the other cart, so now we kind of have that answer. It's just survivors.
My men cannot do this alone.
Also, great eye work.
Yep. And here we get our first shot of Carlos gameplay. Interesting to note too, I think he has a shorter barreled M4, so he probably is going to get more than just the scope and magazine weapon parts. It's going to be interesting to see if they're going to expand very heavily on the weapon parts mechanic.
Yeah, if the information is correct though, this is not going to be the only time we'll see Carlos playable, but it's going to be different parts of his playable character.
Yeah, we should elaborate on that. They did say in plural that Carlos will show up in multiple areas and have an expanded role. So that means that he's probably going to be playable more than once. And I assume like 2 of those points already is like what you see now with the hospital, and also what they have with the RPD section, because Carlos goes to the RPD for something. Assumably, it's the radio.
Yep.
Now, here's a question though: do you guys think this would be before or after Jill gets infected? Because, in my opinion, at least though, they will still need to keep that part where Carlos goes find the cure for Jill. That needs to stay because it adds more, I guess, more depth to the characters. Because despite not knowing each other long enough, though, Carlos will go out of his way to save this woman's life. So they should keep that aspect.
Yeah, and
yeah.
it would also make sense for later down the line when we get into RE5, obviously. So.
Yeah,
should be
exactly.
there.
Jill must live.
I should also ask you guys, what do you think of the shot of the hospital so far?
Looks.
It looks way too modern even for a '90s hospital, but it looks good just how it looks.
Yeah, it looks good. Maybe like it's a small nitpick and it doesn't really mean much in the grand scheme of things. But maybe like it's a little bit too clean in my opinion. Like the initial original hospital was like super run down by the time there was like all the supplies stolen and everything. So I hope they at least convey those aspects of storytelling in when they do show the rest of the hospital.
Yeah. I will say too, I do actually like that they made it darker, because in the original all the lights were on.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very interesting that they've actually turned it into a much darker place, because It gives it more. Well, now that we know like the hunters are going to be here too again, which we'll see I think later on in the trailer, it's going to be really great because it's like if you're going around a corner or something like that, you'll only have to go on like sound cues really. So here's another shot of Jill, and I believe this is a different shotgun than.
Yeah, it doesn't look like the same shotgun from unless just by they change the same gun, but the model looks different from how it would. Obviously, it would be different from the original. But I feel like that this might be that particular shotgun. I forgot what it's called. Forgive me, but it might be just that, or it might be a new one, slightly modified. Because since Leon can grab custom parts, so maybe this is how it looks without all the doohickeys from the original.
I do believe, like there was a screenshot where she does, before this trailer came out, where she does have like a more tactical stock on the shotgun. So at least in that regard, that's correct. But I'm kind of curious to know like how far they're gonna go with, again with like the weapon parts and stuff like that. Because so far, we've seen some stuff on like the promotional images and stuff like that, but then the trailers kind of show something else. So it's gonna be interesting to see how far this goes.
Mm-hmm.
And there is our first hunter right there.
Isn't he
So,
cute? He has a tail.
Yeah, they normally
I
don't have
didn't notice
tails.
that until you guys pointed that out.
Credit here goes to Tony and his people at the Resonance of Evil. I believe Tony was on the podcast when I watched it. Yeah, they did a trailer breakdown and they pointed out the tail. I didn't notice it at first because I was amazed at this beautiful ugly creature. But yeah, that thing has a tail now.
Yeah. And I'm sure Ren, you're gonna pull up the actual official screenshot that Capcom shared with like PR members and whatnot.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that after this trailer, but there is a clearer shot of the hunter, and he looks great. He looks really good. Like I can't, yeah, I can't imagine it looking bad after finally seeing it. And also, someone pointed out that that was exactly what we saw in the trailer with the darkened hospital. We thought it was like a drain demos at first, but that was surefire the hunter because of the eyes.
Yeah, I did. I do really like the addition of like the teeth on the hunters now because they have like these Nemesis-like teeth, but they're more like jagged. So it's really cool.
Okay, there's one thing I want to point out though. Notice how the claws or these arms are different size. Just like say, whenever the tyrant mutates, one arm is bigger than the other, or any G-based creatures like Birkin, for example. Wait, do you guys think that they actually? I'm not sure it's like this in the original, but do you think they use T-virus to actually like a more advanced T-virus or maybe G to create these hunters?
Possible.
Probably so, because I forget, wasn't the strain like them testing the T virus with an amphibian. So it is possible that they could have enhanced the hunters as well as, because we don't also see the deformation of the hunter in this one. So this is like a regular one. It's not like a hunter beta. So I'm still wondering. Yeah. So I'm still wondering, will there still be like different types? Hopefully.
See, I'm glad you brought that up because like and I know this game is not canon, but like ORC for example, they had the hunter alphas, for example. And that always like fucked me up because it was like, well, it should be the hunter betas, and I believe also the hunter gammas were in RE3.
Yeah, the gammas are the frogs.
Like, and you never see those in that game, and I don't know if that's just because design-wise, if they're just harder to implement for Capcom or whatever the case may be.
That or they didn't that team in particular didn't encounter those particular hunters because these hunters do not use this until after the hospital scene.
Yep.
Yeah, so it's very I guess it's very strange, but my hope would be is that like I don't want it to be a similar situation to RE2 Remake because RE2 Remake they cut certain enemies and The liquor variants were cut, for example. So I'm speculating they might cut the other hunter variant, but I hope that's not the case because I actually do like the variety in the enemy types, and maybe like attack wise and animation wise they could work completely differently. So I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that they keep that stuff in, but we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna press play.
Fighting around the city. Why is she here?
All right, and you can see this commotion here.
And
Look at his
you
face,
see
man.
This motherfucker right here.
His whole face is so bad.
Yo, make this an emote in the server right now.
We gotta get a better screen cap, but
That Russian salt.
no lie though, as I see getting a better look though, I still don't dig his look. I prefer the original.
It's
Yeah.
I'll say this much. It's better than the initial trailer because what I noticed is that he has a little bit more mass to him. That being said, I prefer his costume of the original with the long sleeves and everything. It makes it look a little bit more, nefarious when he walks around in the original.
Yeah, I don't know, I kind of get this impression that they, because Nikolai was like in the original and he was, obviously he was shady, but like he didn't like just flat out be like an asshole. Like initially when he runs into like Jill and whatnot.
Yeah, when he
was
started
being a
This game,
team
they're just
leader.
kinda, like,
when he started killing people off, that was when shit was really hitting the fan.
yeah, but in this game it just kind of seems like, oh, I'm just gonna be a fucking asshole.
Kind of reminds me of how they did Ada with the RA2 remake because she wasn't like fully humanized in that one due to them taking out the John factor. It was like she was just an asshole to Leon at first, and then she opened up later, and then she's an asshole later.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that too, because that actually completely blew over my head. She's now an FBI agent, which kind of, in a way, contradicts the reason why she's in the city now. So like I wish they kept in the John portion because it makes no sense for her to be in city. No, at least the motive, initially given to us that why she's in the city instead of just her being an FBI agent. That's kind of, I guess, a cheap way out.
Yeah, her MO
and
made more
it
sense.
would have made him more sympathetic for Leon to be more gullible in that respect.
Yeah, rather than just following orders.
Yeah, I would say like, and also too because the original remake is still canon unless if Capcom decides, hey, we're gonna make another remake and retcon that out. But until that happens, that's still canon. So it just doesn't make sense. But obviously that's for another video. For Nikolai, it just, if this change is going to be good, we'll have to wait and see. But so far, they're giving us the impression that, yeah, he's just going to be an asshole from start to finish. So I'm going to hit play.
She's unreliable.
It's me he's after.
Now, this right here, Donkey Pause.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's the whole scenario. What could this be? Like, it look like either a mall or another portion of RPD. I'm gonna take a wild guess. Oh wait, it might be the subway.
It might
Or
be
maybe
the
a mix of
subway.
both. Like a mall and a subway type thing.
Yeah, I think it's the subway because you can see this like sign above. Obviously, you can't read it because it's like shaded in the shadows.
And just how the architecture is though, because that's something you would see in like a subway system.
Mm. And I do like this like little detail. It's like it's a very quick flash from this frame, but you could see that Nemesis is right there, like ready for Jill.
He has the mask on too, from what I can see.
Oh, he does, yeah.
Does he? Yeah, I think he does.
He is hunting for
Sorry,
that ass.
Hey, wait, Joe.
And this is our first look of Nemesis with a fucking flamethrower.
The leaks were true about this one, so that means he most likely will have a minigun or. Wait, was there one with him having a sniper rifle?
I think that one wasn't shown yet, but honestly, if he did, I wouldn't be surprised because considering how the game works with like the OTS style and you have this monster like, either short range, mid range, long range, it would make sense to have a sniper rifle.
They did also say that this game was supposed to be more action oriented compared to RE2 Remake, so it would kind of make sense for this to be the case.
Yo,
The screen's harder than a monster walking around with a flamethrower.
this is what I need. I need a three-way battle of Jill, the fucking Nemesis, and the end from Metal Gear Solid 3. Let's go. It'll be a full-on sniper battle.
I'm gonna double one on that one because the fucking boss from Evil Within 2 with the flamethrowers.
Oh yeah.
The purifiers or whatever they were called. Yeah.
There's also a pack on his back, so I'm assuming you can shoot
That's
that.
a fuel tank.
Yeah, fuel tank.
It looks play it on because if we get a better look at the flamethrower, at least the tank.
Yeah.
Like it looks
tank is,
armored up.
Huge.
Hmm.
It looks pretty armored up, so I'm guessing somebody at Umbrella's actually intelligent enough to actually, hey, let's armor this thing up so that way it won't blow up on his back.
Yeah, or it would need a lot for that to like get to that point. So we see Jill climbing up, and this is the construction area, I think. Because when you look at it, like, I'm gonna play it back one more time. Like,
You
all
see a
the
lot of construction
scaffolding
stuff.
Like, yeah, it just, I think they're gonna expand on that area, which is gonna be great. And I'm gonna pull back here.
You also hear him say stars.
Yep. We get a good look of his back here too, which is pretty cool. Really interesting angle on his like disfigurement on the face too.
Why does it look like his face is just mushed in? It's so creepy, man.
I don't know.
It's so weird.
You can see his gum line too, though. It looks even more nasty, in the game.
Yeah, it does.
Also, I noticed that his knuckles are like, I think the skin on his knuckles are like peeled off.
Someone mentioned that from Let's Talk Resident Evil that the knuckles are weird and like misshapen and disformed. So
Yeah.
I assume maybe that's like just part of the design that they were going for, but that's like you could really notice it on his hands.
Yeah, Nemesis will punch zombies too hard that his skin actually broke off.
Probably so.
Yeah, I could actually see that. And this is another shot from the previous trailer that we've already seen before. I can't tell, but is that a fucking pupil on Nemesis? No, I'm kidding.
From here it looks like it, but I still think the eye is white.
Yeah.
His humanity came back.
His humanity came back.
Alice, have sex with me.
By the way, how you guys feel about the voice just from some of these sound bits?
I thought it was good.
Personally, I still in the opinion of the original is still the best Nemesis we probably ever get.
This is probably the second best because every other Nemesis voice actor before the original has sucked. Well, after the original, technically, but you know what I mean. Like they have not been that great. ORC, all those other games.
ORC's the worst, probably.
Stars. It doesn't even sound like Nemesis.
Hey, what's some stars?
Why do you sound like fucking what's his face from RE5?
Oh, Dante?
No, not Dante. Businessman with standards.
You're talking about Irvin, yeah.
Yeah, Irvin. Yeah. I'm gonna hit play again. We hear that voice clip. And then here we get some driving. There's a bit of a
GTA,
reference
motherfucker.
to the, what is it, the warehouse that Jill and Dario get locked up in for a little bit. And also, too, kind of unclear if this is scripted or if this is actually going to be a semi-part of gameplay is Jill driving, because that was going to be a part of RE2 Remake originally. So, very interesting to see that being added in. We do see Nemesis is still wearing the mask here, and if you play further, which I'm gonna actually go back and slow this down.
There's one thing to note: you see a sign there, but it's hard to make out with how it is.
Yep.
Says Blue Mountain something. Storehouse?
Yeah, I think that's what it was. Or, try to pause it at the right frame. Because right about here, we get to see
the mask.
You get to see the mask, and you can see that it takes battle damage.
Mm-hmm.
So, kind of going along with the theory that I had too from the previous trailer, where like if you shoot parts of Nemesis, maybe that part would like fall off and show battle damage, and you would see that over time. So, I speculate the noses still fall off, and here's a perfectly good like look of like Nemesis, like probably like what he looks like when he was human, when he was busting a nut.
What?
I mean, look, like his
Dom,
nose is like,
get run over by a car does not equate to that unless you really are a freak.
I mean,
No, stop.
So, you know, that happens. And then Jill is out, and I'm gonna go back to normal speed. But Jill is knocked out. Carlos is trying to get hold of her, and I do know that you guys wanted to probably talk about. Hold on, I'm gonna get back at the perfect frame.
Come in.
Nope.
Further back.
Yeah, this one right here. You know, Carlos is trying to get a hold of her. She's probably knocked out unconscious. And where are they at?
That
STARS
is the STARS office.
Exactly.
It's like opposite what happened in the original, because Jill comes here and hears the radio contact from Carlos. Now it's Carlos talking to Jill, or he's trying to.
Role reversal. The other way around.
And it seems like this scene happens much later in the game, because it doesn't seem like it's like what you know.
I won't
The
say
original
much
RE3.
later, maybe close to midway, because Nemesis still has a mask on, so maybe Nemesis Nemesis will become a bigger threat once you hit midpoint and he gets all his gadgets together.
Yeah. This is one of those things where it's like it's gonna be very interesting to see like what part of the game this takes place in. And also too, it's interesting to note that it seems like they're hacking through these STARS computers, probably to try to get any evidence on STARS, and maybe also to collect any data that they might have accumulated while they were trying to take down Umbrella. So
I can't specifically think of whose desk that is. It has to be Jill's desk. Has to be. Because the way it's positioned is just too weird, but then again, it could be from any angle, so we don't know.
Actually, no, it's not Jill's desk, because I don't think it's Jill's desk, because her desk should be on the opposite end of this particular one. If it's the desk I'm thinking about.
You think it's Wesker's?
No, Wesker's is in the
Wesker has an office now, remember? Because that wasn't in the original.
Oh yeah, he does have the little office in the back. You're right about that.
Yeah, so it might be Barry's.
Probably Barry's or Chris, because I think Barry or Chris at this rate is kind of weird how they like disappeared at this time. So maybe like Umbrella wanted more intel from those two.
Yeah, because I know they had like the side novels that, to my understanding, are not canon, but in that time they were all kind of like going about trying to get any information and evidence against Umbrella, and this was at that point where Chris was going to Europe, so just also a missed opportunity to do some spin-offs for some of these other characters that are not utilized as much, but with the exception of Chris, obviously. But you get the point. So very interesting tidbit.
Come in.
And here we have Jill just passed out. Seems like there's a dumpster truck right there. And
Yeah, it's called Nemesis.
And Nemesis is about to get that ass. And that was pretty much the trailer.
Yeah.
Yep, I think the last part is just Project Resistance stuff.
Yep.
And that's
Which
it.
Did
for
they add
whatever
another
reason-
character?
Did they?
Yeah, they did add in 2 new characters.
One of them was Selena Gomez.
The thing that always gets me whenever they show off Resident Evil Resistance, they use the Revelations like tone drop. I don't know why they do that. It's just very specific that they are like that they use that. Like, you hear that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear it. Yeah, that's the.
Like, it has
that
no
was-
relation, but they just use it for some reason. Like, and I wonder why. Like, maybe there might be some Revelation stuff thrown in there. Who knows? Still no word on a deluxe edition, if there's even going to be one, or even a classic soundtrack for that matter.
Yeah, I don't think it's happening at this rate. It's unfortunate. Also, one of the characters is named Martin Sandwich. I don't know
Oh yeah,
how.
yeah, I forgot about that.
Why? Yeah, it is so weird. But I'm going to do the desktop thing for the screenshots, so I'm gonna switch over. But yeah, what do you guys think about the trailer while I do this?
It's as good as it's gonna be because I'll definitely like to see more in-depth information because we're like what 3 months away from the final release, so like they gotta show us more now because we're just getting small bits by the minute. So like I need more. I just need more.
I posted the stream, so I'm gonna go to the screenshots. Don, what do you think?
I thought that the trailer was very cool. I came home, I was tired as fuck from work, and I got super pumped and hyped when I saw the screenshots and the trailer itself. So I'm looking forward to this game. I can't wait to play this remake. Like April cannot come soon enough.
Also,
It-
Final
uh,
Fantasy got delayed to April, so we got a lot on our hands for certain people at least. I know I'm playing this first, but I'm looking forward to both.
Yeah. Fucking Square Enix, man. Why you do this to me?
I hate that so much. But as you can see my screen here. I got the screen caps up. Can you guys see that, Dom? Brendan?
On
The link
on
I
which
posted.
stream?
The YouTube
Oh,
one.
okay. Hold on.
No, I do not.
I saw some of them. Okay, I see them now on YouTube.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, you can see the cinema. You can see them going upstairs. I think some of these are old ones.
There is the hunter in clear view. And honestly, I mean, I think he looks sick. He looks awesome.
Yeah, look at that jagged teeth.
Look at the jagged teeth and everything. Can I zoom in? Yes, I can. All right. So what's next? They got the render of Brad, who looks fat. A lot of people says he's fat now, and it does reflect. So there you have it. What else do they
He
got?
is fat or big boned or big muscled.
They showed this render before of Carlos. This is not new, actually. Well, I think now the render is, but not the picture itself.
His full body, yeah.
Yeah. There's Dario. I said this earlier.
Looking like a snack.
Yeah, I said this earlier. It seems they have this thing where they like to make the characters look a little bit more older. Because Dario looked kind of young in RE3 originally. And he had blonde hair, and now he's like an old-ass man.
It makes sense. He has a daughter that's apparently be eaten.
He probably had a kid when he was
Dario
like 20.
looks like he lost his fucking mind.
He does.
I would too if my daughter get eaten in front of me.
There is Mikhail. Isn't that the same pose he did in the original?
I don't know.
I think it is. I think it is.
believe so.
Let's move on. We have Murphy Seeker. Clearly bitten by a zombie. He's going to die. There is the man
I was
himself.
gonna shoot him.
Nemesis.
Oh, totally not infected, guys. Totally not.
Yo, Nemesis is looking sick though. I love it.
There's the
I
nose.
love the fucking RPG. Like,
Oh yeah, there's a few RPG screenshots to laugh at. Let me see if I can
Oh,
find.
that little container on his chest though. Could that be his heart?
It could be.
oh,
Go-
one other thing too. He has a fucking arm pad for the RPG.
Oh,
Look at that. Do you see that?
yeah, I noticed
Yeah.
that. Yeah, he does. Oh,
Nemesis
that's
got better
sick.
accuracy now.
That's sick. I love that so much. You got the cleats on and everything. There you go.
Yeah, he's a running back.
So here's the black man, Tyrell Patrick. Someone say he looks like Blade, but I don't see it in this one. Maybe.
I don't see. No, he looks like a bigger face version of the guy that played Cottonmouth.
Oh, you're talking about the new Blade. Actually, that's quite ironic.
Oh well. Oh yes, actually.
Let's see what else we got. We got more old man Dario. Ooh, exit out for a second.
I want you to like pay attention to the rifles that they're using for UBCS because I think Carlos's is like in the render that they have is shorter than what everybody else is using.
Maybe they have
Wait,
like different
okay.
guns commissioned.
Well, different variants of the M4, and I think that they're kind of, like I said earlier when we were breaking down the trailer, I think they're really alluding to the fact that Carlos will get these other weapon parts. Like, you see, like, he doesn't have that initially when we see his gameplay. And I think, like, for the gameplay, he's going to get a longer barrel for, higher, like, accuracy and maybe the magazine, obviously, for faster reloading, and then maybe the scope for maybe even more pinpoint accuracy.
One thing people
Or
shouldn't
damage for the barrel, and then the scope for the accuracy. So
one thing people shouldn't forget is that you could put Carlos's rifle in the item box for Jill if you really wanted to. So I'm wondering, will they do that with all the upgrades if they decide to go in that direction?
And technically the same thing happens in Resident Evil 2 original, where you could, while it's not weapon parts though, you could give the secondary character like Ada and Sherry, could throw over like the keys and some ammunition if you decide to get the ammunition right.
Mhm.
So maybe this could be the same thing here, or in original Resident Evil 3, Carlos gives Jill some ammunition and a side pack. So maybe he could give her gun parts.
I assume this is the scene where Nemesis gets on the train. It has to be.
Yeah, I was about to mention that too, because you clearly see there's some fire right in front of them, because that light, that's orange light, that's fire, and
Yep.
while everything else behind them is dark. So this is probably where Mikhail unfortunately sees his end.
Yep.
I also think this is going to be the point where all those survivors die.
Oh,
I think
definitely.
they're gonna make. I think they're gonna make it a more like, I want to say like, tragic, but also like terrifying scene. Like, yeah, like Nemesis will literally go through anybody just to kill, like stars because that's his objective.
It'll be
And I
more
think-
fucked up. Actually, it's the train crash that would actually kill the survivors, not Nemesis.
Yeah, that too. Like, and there's nothing that Jill could have done about it. Like, but I also think too, like some of the UBCS members, they genuinely believe that they were there to, save survivors or whatever, because UBCS, by like Umbrella's standards, they're expendable. So they're going in and they're not really being told, like in the original, like Carlos says, like, do you really think that the master would tell his dogs like why they went to go retrieve the stick?
Yep.
They were told to go fetch, like. So I think it just is going to be like a same or similar premise to that.
This is a beautiful shot. Absolutely.
This is wallpaper worthy right here.
Yep.
This looks like it could be the area, the restaurant area in the original. Where you go meet Carlos for the first time, depending on which event you go to first, either newspaper station or the restaurant. This could be that area of the city.
Oh, I see the boutique.
I see it too. Yeah, it's all the way in the back
boutique
to the
is
right,
next to the fucking donut shop.
right there.
Oh,
We're gonna
also,
call- I know it's called Moon Donuts, but we're gonna call it fucking Krispy Kreme for consistency's sake.
Hmm?
Like,
yeah. Also, one thing though, I kind of answered my own question. You see the Blue Mountain storage house, so yeah, that might have been the storage house that Jill ran Nemesis over it.
Yeah, she might be like coming from the back entrance of the side, you know. So we have Mom's Crabs, I think that's what that says. Well, no, you don't want to think about it in that context, but still. Sorry.
Yeah, they probably
I'm
should
trying to
have given
pretend that
us.
they existed.
But it's all
They
fire, obviously.
Hey, look, free food.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
I can't think straight after that one.
Really interesting to see, and also another shot of the boutique too. So I wonder if we'll actually be able to go in.
What is this at?
This has to be sewers. There's no other way. It can't be anywhere else but the sewers.
Or no, it looks like a basement.
Oh,
Yeah, I
maybe,
also I also think that they probably changed the order of events to certain areas. Like, I think the order in which we're going to be experiencing some of these areas will be drastically different.
Yeah, most likely. I believe it considering they did say like, no, this game gonna be even less faithful to the original than Remake 2 was.
There's another shot of Jill on the train. Looks good. It's not much to say about it though, but it looks like really good.
Look at the scratches, man. Yeah, she's seen war. Disinfect those things, Jill. Come on.
This is more of the subway.
I like how they're keeping.
Yeah. Oh, that's
this,
the same shot Nemesis come from. Yeah, this might be an underground mall with the subway.
Let me zoom
Yeah.
in. I think that's the same like Raccoon City map as well, if I'm not too mistaken. That's awesome. I like this. I like this a lot. Let's move on to the next one.
Oh, it is. Yeah. You can see it in the distance. It's like on that board.
This might be actually a spot where you. This might be a spot where you actually pick up a map for that area. But you see all those maps though. There's no way that you can't find a map there if you really want to know where you're going, right?
Yeah.
Like, it would make
Nothing-
sense.
Watch, they're gonna have like a fucking thing where, like, you interact with it, and she's gonna be like, "There's nothing useful here."
All right, so this one
Yeah.
needs a little bit of context.
I can explain it if you want.
Go ahead.
Apparently, like either a leaker / insider is mentioned that another tester or leaker, whatever, have played the same area, but they died different ways. For him, that other person died. I don't remember how he died.
I think he got
For this
tentacled.
individual, yeah, tentacled or whatever. And this one though, he said that he got blown in half by a rocket launcher, and as you can see here, he's holding Jill up by the rocket, which is actually pretty cool, admittedly. But yeah, this might be actually a death scene we're looking at right here.
Oh, that'd be cool, and I think it'll bring back player gore, which is not it. Well, it's kind of in Resident Evil 2 with the whole zombie, you know, sort of gibbing your neck and everything. But
And, yeah, there is player gore though, but a lot of it's still censored though, because
It's
if you
censored,
turn
yeah.
off the camera, because like say with Mr. X with the impalement at the last fight, you can see all the holes and whatnot, and some chunks of Leon's skin missing. If you turn off the camera though, but in gameplay though, you don't see Leon's body.
Yep.
yeah, so
There is also too something to consider is that every character model in RE2 Remake has another character model like underneath, where basically all the damage is supposed to be shown on the model. So like if you deal damage to certain parts, that's where you see like the bloody portions of the actual model. So it's kind of a similar process.
One more thing is this you see behind Nemesis, you see like the hopscotch or train looking thing. That was an original where you could get the where you could go and get grenade ammunition, I believe.
yeah,
Inside
you
that little
need
closet, you need to crank.
the crank to come back there. Yeah, that was in the original, so that's interesting that this is like still an area in the game.
One last thing.
Mhm.
Really cool detail that all of the like main part of Nemesis clothing has been tethered off.
Yup.
So, and you could see more of his skin, which is grotesque looking as ever.
They also said, it's something that I don't think we mentioned. They said that he has 4 forms in this game. And I assume what they mean by this is the mass form. This form that you're seeing now, where it's kind of like semi-burnt. The other one, where it's like the entire...
Shirtless.
Yeah, shirtless, and he has tentacles. And then the final form, where he looks like a big heap of shit.
That, or he might actually have 4 stages before he reaches his final form after eating the tyrant.
Yeah.
This isn't even my final form.
So this is Mikael having a stomach ache. A really bad one. He had some burritos last night.
Oh, you could see the hole.
Yeah,
That's way too detailed. Holy cow.
that is really sickly detailed. Holy shit.
I think they like went like not overboard, but they had fun with detailing the gore for this this remake.
Oh,
Probably
absolutely.
took some extra liberties.
Absolutely. That's probably why they have like 2 different versions. Also, this is more Mikael. It's all cut up. It's not much to say there.
He has a I'm disappointed in you look.
I'm disappointed in you, son. You are a failure. You should have nutted in that woman.
Shut up.
Here's Murphy Seeker. In the trailer, he lies to Jill about being bitten by a zombie when he clearly is. So that is horror movie or like horror genre trope 101. Guy bitten by a zombie doesn't tell people.
Now hear me out though. What if he actually wasn't bitten? What if Nemesis attacked him with a tentacle, or someone shot him in the leg?
That could be interesting. Cause then it'll show like, well, Mikael's going around. Well, not Mikael, but Nikolai is going around and killing people like earlier than expected. So it might create some like trust issues if he shows up again. Or he could be like dead later. That'd be cool if they did that. Cause he does like in the original, he does kill him before he turns into a zombie.
Mm-hmm.
And also
Yeah.
too, like
Oh,
because we were talking about the gore, it might be just the thing of like he got shot through the leg, and that just they wanted to make a more visceral looking wound.
Yeah. Alright, let's move on to the next screenshot. Here's Nemesis and all his crooked nose glory. That was also in the trailer when we saw it.
Yeah, that's a trailer shot, definitely.
Yup.
The fire effects though need some work for the next engine.
Oh, it
There's
does.
2 spots that Capcom has a problem with this current engine: it's the fire and the water effects.
The next one is him with the RPG. I noticed it has a laser too. You can see that.
Yep.
Yeah, if that didn't help, that he has a fucking RPG, he also has pinpoint accuracy now too.
Mm-hmm. So it's like, what's with the laser now? It's like, now I assume that's gonna be like a sort of warning shot when you see it. Like before he fires it, you'll see the laser. So that's like a visual cue to get the fuck out of the way. Yeah.
I mean, given that he has a giant rocket, I was like, no way shooting me from.
Yeah. So if
I
you see
wonder
that
if you
run,
I wonder if you could shoot it and like fuck up his aim,
Or blow it
Or,
up
like-
like he could in the original.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, because
But then again, though, technically he can get multiple rockets, because even if you blow up or he throws away one rocket, though, he just come back with rockets later again.
yeah, he does. All right, let's see. What is the next one? That's more of him aiming the RPG, and this is a very good shot of the power plant in the background.
Oh, that's a nice shot. No pun intended.
It's like, nice shot, kid.
I actually like this shot. This is definitely wallpaper worthy.
Yo, a lot of these I'll probably go back and save. They're
Nemesis
awesome.
wants to square up.
He wants to square up. Oh, that's more of Hood Nemesis.
What is that stuff on the power plant? You see that?
There's
I
stuff
think
on it.
that's just the cables.
No, go
Oh,
back
no,
to the
in the
power plant.
background.
Yeah,
That's
go back to
some.
the power
Yeah.
plant.
Is that some
Okay.
weird
Yeah, look at
growth?
that. Look at that brown stuff. You see that?
Yeah. What is that? I have no idea.
Spiders,
Im-
maybe?
It's all
I
over the
hope it's-
place, actually. It's kind of up here too. You see it like on the left, a little bit.
Yeah.
I hope the return to spiders, but that could also be the dream demos where like they might show up there.
Nesting.
Yeah, maybe they
Yeah.
could be laying eggs or making cocoons.
They could be pulling like aliens vibes in a way, where they're setting up a hive. So
Oh, that'd be disgusting. But then again, it'll lead to more like BOW biology. So I kind of like that. Let's move on. We saw this one already. This was in the trailer. Just Nemesis whipping out the tentacle. This is I guess this is all the old stuff from the previous trailers. But this is new.
Lots, none.
This is it says what the street is. Redstone Street. Yep, boob shot.
yeah, so see this picture right here. You notice how his fucking M4 is like more of
Shorter.
like a CQC type.
Mhm.
Yeah, so I'm speculating that like as you play as Carlos, you're gonna find these weapon parts like in maybe like certain containers, and as you play as him, you'll get better weapon parts to deal more damage or have you're gonna basically become better equipped as you play as Carlos.
You'll be Rambo, and he looks like him too.
Yeah.
So that's really all you need to know. This
Yeah,
is
just, be like, yeah, my name is John.
my name is John. Last name
You
Wick.
see him. You see him sweating to death, hacking to his computer.
Don't do too much like pornography on your computer. This happens.
Is he balding? Yeah, you see them balding a little bit in certain. You see patches in his head.
It's weird that he's
What?
balding and he looks young, dude.
So he's probably like Willem Dafoe and be like, you know, I consider myself a marine biologist myself.
And it's also said this guy's like position in the UBCS is like hacker. So, like we said before, you can see this in the trailer as well when he's into the stars files and hacking the computers. I'm wondering if they will sort of do some sort of spin where he worked for the contractors or something, because it's like I think unknowingly in the original he gets shot by Nikolai. So I'm wondering, is he going to be on his side this time around or not? Maybe he'll be an innocent
I'm pretty
victim.
sure he's not, because Nikolai was ordered to kill everybody.
Yeah. And then this screenshot is the funniest. This is what happens when yeah, this is what happens when the boys pass around herbs and you get caught
And
by
then
stars.
Oh shit. What do we do?
It's like, this is a bad weed deal. I'm sorry, miss.
Man, what are these posters?
I assume they're adverts for like the horror movies and that sort of universe. I like that kind of stuff though. It makes it look interesting to look at when you're playing the
It's
game.
meta
You know
too
what-
when you have a game
Yeah.
that comes out and you release it.
You know, it'd be
Poster.
really cool if they fucking teased like Dino Crisis remake.
Or Biohazard 4.
Yeah, or yeah, like the original RE3, or like I know Code Veronica was the one that they bundled the Devil May Cry demo with, but like imagine if they were to like hint at like, oh, here's Devil May Cry and like all these other Capcom franchises. Like that would be really cool.
You know what?
Yeah, that'd be some dead rising meta there.
That'd be sick. Like maybe tease your new IP through like a movie poster or something. I totally go for it. But even when zoomed in, I can't see what they are. I see one of them is a lobster on the table, so that's nice. We got a lobster movie.
The other
coming.
one looks like Stalker. Maybe it could be a word. Right next to Carlos.
Looks like a sort of guy with like an alien head. You see that, right? Way is shape.
Yeah.
That's weird, dude.
I
But
like how we're just focusing on the characters. Like I like how each member of UBCS has their own like individual uniform.
oh yeah, and the icon placement as well is like different on everyone. I like that. But that is it today for this whole breakdown of the Resident Evil 3 Nemesis trailer that came out. I'm still holding out hopes because the way they described this prior, they said that they were going to focus more. They'll release one specifically on Carlos, and that's it. And it'll be like, do some gameplay presentations as well, because I think out there. But mhm.
Yeah, and also too, I think would be really cool is like if we can see just kind of the not general layout, but like general idea of like some of the items we're gonna see, because I know that there was a rumor that the gunpowder mechanic would be like somewhat similar to RE2 remakes, but also somewhat similar to the original RE3 in a sense where we could make enhanced ammo.
Mm-hmm.
I hope so.
And I was also asking Brandon because, you know, Resident Evil Resistance, which is the game that's going to be bundled with RE3 remake, that features yellow herbs, and I was saying that wouldn't it be interesting if they brought back the yellow herbs just for Resident Evil 3 remake, just to, you know, maybe do something new with that game. So be interesting to see if we see that return.
My answer to him was they should keep it how they had it in Resident Evil 4, because in case if for some reason somebody doesn't know or didn't play RE4, yellow herbs, which is so far I've given that this game is going to have is a little bit more action oriented compared to 1 and 2. That's a given, and the amount of enemies you're going to deal with and Nemesis himself. I think it would be smart to have those yellow herbs and increase your health cap until the maximum threshold they will allow you to have it. That would be a really good way to instead of be very frustrating. Like, imagine if you're playing this game on a hypothetical hardcore mode, like in Resident Evil 2 remake, where 2 zombie bites could kill you. So imagine that in Resident Evil 3 with all these enemies or Nemesis going around decking you in the halls or shooting you with a rocket. Now, yeah, I can imagine that would be really frustrating. So I think it would actually be smart if they gave us like a yellow orb system, herb system, to increase the amount of health the player can have.
Also, something to note too, because it's, you know, related to this, in Resident Evil Resistance, the yellow herbs are only meant as an attack, I think an attack and defense buff. It gives you a buff, basically, in the game, and it's a 30-second buff, I think, but that 30 seconds does help quite a bit. And you know, obviously it's made specific for that game, but it could be changed drastically for Resident Evil 3.
Yeah, I my answer to that as well is like, given that it's a multiplayer game, they're going to do some, I guess, something out of or norm, like we did with Revelations 1 and 2 with Rainbow. You know, enemies got this weird ass buffs and whatnot. I mean, heck, Chris has the ability to make some armor skin. But no, given that in Resident Evil 2 remake, if you combine all herbs together, though, you actually get a defense buff for a certain period of time. So if they actually gonna reintroduce that type of mechanic in 3, the defense buff actually would be nice to have. So I think they will have some type of buff system implemented with the herbs here. Like, maybe, heck, if they want to go the extra mile, give you a speed buff, or just give you a defense buff on face value.
Yeah, mixing and matching would lead to more combinations if they did that. Whether it makes you faster, whether it gives you like more defense, or whether it makes you, you know, maybe a little bit more accurate. You know, I just want those elements to help me out in the long run, because if I'm dealing with 8-foot tall Joe Smo with the crooked nose, I'm going to want to have as much tools as possible to deal with them. So
Yep.
I think we're done with this discussion. We're gonna sign out, so we're gonna plug our socials and leave it at that. If we hear about anything else, we will talk to you about it whenever we're free. So I'm Renegade Operative. You can find me on Twitter at RenOperative_. You can find me on YouTube at Renegade Operative. Next up is Doom.
Yeah, my name is BioDevil_Dom. You could just call me BioDevil Dom. I'm on Twitter, YouTube, very rare occasions on Twitch. And with that said, I'm gonna go off to bed and dream about titties. So good night, all.
Alrighty then. Last up is Sir Brandel. Where can we find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Immortal Brandle and on Twitch at Sir Brandle. Sometimes I stream, sometimes I don't. If I'm feeling good, I do it.
Alrighty, so we will see you guys next time. Hopefully they put out that Carlos trailer. Hopefully they put out more gameplay. If they do, we will be there to talk about it. So we will see you guys next time, and good night.